right, we are about halfway through the first round. If you still want to read, we can make that happen. You are going to probably read in the second round, though, at this point, just because we do have everybody going forward has asked to read in the first round. With that in mind, y'all, put your hands together for our next poet up to the mic, Latisha Lashay.
No, he didn't. It hit me in the face. Is that what it feels like to be a straight girl? Yeah. Oh, calm down. Everybody has sex. Chill out. If you like penis, don't be ashamed of it. It's not my fault you chose that lifestyle. I mean, what you do in the privacy of your own home is your business. But when you bring it in front of my child, is it?
It didn't like that joke. It really didn't like that joke.
It's like high school all over again. Hi, before I get into it, so me and my daughter were part of the NAACP, and right now we're raising 10,000 pads. We need 2,000 more to send to girls over in South Africa. So for the rest of this month, if you know people, if you want to drop off some pads and maybe, be a part of something bigger than what you're already doing now, please drop them off here. I like to tell this to non-black people. When you feel like you're not doing enough, do more. We're doing this because it's period poverty. We're part of an initiative that makes it easier for women like me in prison to get access to period products like, pads and tampons. Because you don't know what it's like to get pads and tampons. Let me tell you this, before I get into it, the first time I bled on myself, I was 9 years old. The second time, I was 21 in a jail cell. Nothing is more embarrassing than having your dad buy pads. I didn't realize that actually something could be more embarrassing than that, and it's asking a CO for a pad and them choosing to ignore you, and then you sitting in your cell bleeding on yourself. Because America likes to lock its people away like they're problems and forget about it. Especially when they do it to black bodies. Do more. You all have the power to do more. Our bill's gonna get initiated this week. It's getting introduced, and we're gonna need people to come and testify, offer human dignity. You wanna think of your worst nightmare? Imagine someone you love who has a uterus in a prison. Now, think how beautiful that you don't have to think about that, but that somebody's actual nightmare is a reality. It was mine for 7 years. Do more. I want people to show up in droves just like they show up for the trans bill. I need that type. I need that type of energy. I need people to care. I'm so goddamn tired of caring all the time. Black women are angry because we have so many things to be angry about that our anger is the only reason why things have gotten done in America. So be angry with us. Be angry for us. All right. No clapping. This is introspection. I'm not saying these things to make you go, I want you to dig down, leave here and go, damn, what am I not doing? That's what I need you to do. I don't read poetry for you to feel. I read poetry for you to do. If I read a poem about healing, heal. When I write a poem about unpacking, unpacking. If I write a poem about doing something, do something. Aren't you tired of doing nothing? So this poem is called, Do You Want to Be a Poet? Oh, someone I love told me, you make everything a poem. And I was like, I'm a poet. I look at things and see the beauty in words, and I can't help that everything that drips from my lips are being turned into sonnets and haikus or manifestos, if you will. Okay, maybe I'm a bit dramatic, but maybe I'm being a bit too much. Maybe I love hearing my voice, but do you know what? What people don't talk about is how sometimes we refuse to write because it's just so fucking much. Constantly seeing yourself, the world, and having to talk about it is exhausting. The truth is exhausting. Sitting in your head, listening to words be crafted to fit the narrative of trauma, pain, because healing is fucking tiresome, because writing is truth, but lying feels good like toxic women. It feels good like sad songs on a rainy day. It feels good like making plans with somebody you didn't want to, and instead of saying no, you just wait till the day comes and then they cancel on you. But what doesn't feel good is consistently composing words and emotions as a modern symphony that just plays modern symphony, but one you just can't get out of your head. Healing doesn't always feel good. Writing doesn't always feel good. Writing about leeches disguised as friends sucking out the joy of me because they love the light when it's not they love the light when it's not them casting it. That they thrive in the darkness and only use me when they feel like being seen. Writing about how capitalism is killing this generation, even though it would provide, killing this generation, it thought it would provide for, but built off the backs of black and brown people, because I had to win $1,000 at bingo just to pay my rent 7 months ago, and it's fucking ridiculous that we have to pay for food to live. How slavery was never actually abolished because the 13th Amendment still exists. Once you're incarcerated, you use your rights as a person. Funny how America has the highest percentage of black incarcerated people. Writing about how I was so infatuated with a woman who did not love me, but loved the idea of me. Loving me sometimes in private while living in straight spaces in public. Yes, I said infatuation because now I know that love and infatuation are not sequitur. They're cousins, not twins. I know what love is now. I know how it tastes. It's raw and it's sweet and it's kind, but not always nice. It fills me up to the brim and then overpours because I no longer am the one drinking from an empty jug. Writing about the horrors that are happening in Ukraine while also touching the fact that if your skin is lighter than a paper bag, they didn't let you leave the country. Forcing black people to fight for another war yet again for white men. Writing about biracial children no longer seeing their blackness because white people have culturally appropriated so much that racial ambiguous became something trendy, but that we can't see the difference. There are more people that look like those people in my family than in white folks, and we all know how we got there, but we pretend to not discuss it. Writing about how I hated myself, thinking from the ages of 12 and 19 that I had been born in the wrong body, when really it was just internalized hatred for being a dark-skinned black girl, being built like a black woman. I didn't want to be a man. It just felt easier being a black man. People seem to really love black men, black boys. Maybe if my hair was lighter, maybe if my hair was a little less rough, maybe if my body was slender, maybe if I looked like an emo boy, maybe girls would like me then. Maybe they would find me pretty. Maybe somebody would date me. Writing about how I allowed myself to believe I was okay after doing 7 years in prison from 20 to 28. Listening to people be so shocked at how well I adjusted. As if I have never been locked up. Never spent 17 days by myself in the hole for 23 hours because I wanted to believe that it hadn't destroyed all the good parts of Latisha. And then one night, staring at the moon, I broke down in the arms of a person I swore was the birth child of safeness and love, and realizing that I was not okay. That I never stopped experiencing trauma, even after I walked out the gates, that I haven't felt safe till that moment, that I had felt so alone until that moment, that I had been bitter, that had been healing wounds I chose to ignore, winning battles in a war I did not know I was raging. Healing, so we write to heal because we never stop healing, but the point is to be healing, writing about truths that make you peel off the deceit that covers you in layers, tearing off the lies like skinwalkers. Do you know why most of the best pieces were written by poets in distress? Because by the time they wrote those poems, they were broken, that they were the only way to talk about it was to get through it and to it. See, poets, we don't own mirrors. Our poems are our own reflections. Gaze at a few words and you'll see my image in a mere sentence. You can tell when we haven't written in so long, and then after, the pep in our step lightens and our smile's a bit brighter because we have not only talked and walked with, but held hands and let the child born out of trauma cry in our laps, gently wiping tears away, told them we love them and that they don't have to be strong anymore, that we will get them there, that we will protect them, we will be our own parents, and we will be gentle now. We will be kind to us now. We will love all of the parts of us now. See, as a poet, for you to expose the world, you have to expose yourself. To be a poet, you have to expose yourself to expose the world. Healing is like poetry, and poetry is like the truth. And just like Pharrell said, the truth will set you free, but first, it'll piss you off.